Hi guys, thank you for joining my YouTube channel. I'm Arvin Gonzalez, and in this episode, we're gonna talk about the Red Sox. I think it's been a roller coaster for them, like the whole season. I remember on April they had a pretty awful record, and after that, in the middle of May, I think they got like a pretty good winning streak. Was like don't remember the exact amount of like wins, but it was like a pretty good winning percentage in a 25 game stretch. And everything were looking good even in June. The Red Sox were like being real good. They were second on the East Division. They had the first wild card, and everything were good for them. Chris Sale was returning to the team. Same for Nathan Uvaldi. Also having great production from unexpected players like Franchi Cordero. Everything worked good for the Red Sox in that moment. I mean, like 1 month ago, but they have lost 15 of his last 20 games. In other words, in his last 20 games, the Red Sox record is 5-2. That performance, when we are just 9 days away, not nine, sorry, we are 8 days away from the MLB trade deadline on August the 2nd. And I think right now is the time for the Red Sox to sell because the Red Sox are playing like for 500 exactly, like 48 and 48 is his record after being swept by the Blue Jays beginning the second half of the season. Um, Chris Sale is not coming soon after he broke his little finger. Um, it's been a tough month for them, and I think it's time for Shane Bloom to pull the trigger and begin selling the players who are not coming back with the team for 2023. And the reason I think that is like, let's be honest, like in that division, do you really think even in his best moment during this season, I'm talking about May, June, that the Red Sox were better than the Blue Jays, that they were better than the Rays? I don't think so. Maybe they can make it to the playoffs in or they could in that moment, not as a top wild card seed, but maybe as a second or third. But the thing is that enough for the Red Sox, like making the playoff as a wild card? Eh, You don't have that depth. You don't have that good pitching. Even the defense is have a question mark for believing in like advancing to a next series in the playoffs. I mean, if they could make it to the playoff, it would be a miracle. But it won't be the same like getting to the playoff as the second, third wild card seat in the AL, and then being swept by the next team, the first team you face in the in the playoffs. I mean, I think Bloom has shown during his period with the Red Sox that he doesn't he doesn't care. Is he needs to like trade players for prospect or for let's say prospects who are ready for MLB, like his MLB ETA is 2023, let's say. And I think that's the case for the Red Sox because the Red Sox have a lot of players who are joining that that are that are hitting the free agency. I mean, for the next season, and I'm gonna share the spot track screenshot that I made. And here you are. There are basically four starting pitchers with Chris Sale, even though with Chris Sale it's a different story because he has a 27 million option for the next season, and I'm not sure if the option is just from the team or it's a mutual option. But let's forget about that. Nobody's gonna get Chris Sale right now because of his high salary and because also of his injury history. And now he's currently in the injury list, so forget about that. Uh, but Nathan Iovaldi, Rich Hill, Michael Waka, those are names that if you're not thinking about bringing them back for the next season, and I'm pretty sure they're not thinking about that with Hill, for example, because of his age. Uh, they maybe they're gonna maybe they're gonna like bring back Nathan Iovaldi, even though the health health issues, and Waka is like pretty affordable. It's a low risk sign, so makes sense. But again, with Hill, that's a pretty good asset for a contender because you can use him coming from the bullpen. It's a lefty who have good command. Um, Even though he has 43 years old, he still performed above average. So I think it's a pretty good piece for changing even for a, let's see, not elite prospect, but at least a grade B, grade C prospect, especially pitching, because that's another thing. The Red Sox are lacking pitching like in the big leagues, but also in his minor league system. You can see his prospect like the rankings that Baseball America, Baseball Prospectus, Fangraphs, MLB Pipeline make. And in all of that, you're gonna see a bunch of position players like Tristan Casas, and I remember the other one who was drafted last year, and the one who was drafted this year, the first pick, I mean, is a position player. The only pitcher that you're gonna find like in the top five prospects for the Red Sox is Brian Bello, who is actually in the big leagues. And yeah, I mean that's the most improving that the Red Sox needs in his game, like the pitching. Bob starting in from the bullpen. Defense too, but mostly pitchers. That's what the Red Sox needs to get in the MLB trade deadline in case they are gonna sell. Because that's something I'm thinking about and that I'm convinced myself that they have to do, but I don't know what are they thinking about. And a pretty good interesting player that is hitting the free agency next season is Christian Vasquez, basically the regular catcher for the last what 6 years. I think it's from 2018, 2017. Christian Vasquez has been in the majors, and I think they can keep it. They can keep him because it's not gonna be like too expensive to get Vasquez. And Vasquez is he's a leader. He is a below average offensive player, and sometimes he flashes like a slightly above average hitter. But he has pretty good skills with the defense beyond what the stats says. And I think that's a must for the Red Sox to keep. because it's gonna be cheaper than going to the free agency in 2023 of season and trying to find a replacement for him. So I think that's basically most of the needs of the Red Sox for the MLB trade deadline. They they can also, I don't know if they're gonna sign again like JD Martinez, Sander Bogarts, and Kike Hernandez. I mean, that's a tough decision because I'm pretty sure JD Martinez is gonna be looking for um, multi-year deal, and I'm only talking about JD because it's obvious that Bogarts is gonna is looking for big money in this off season because that's his best opportunity to get like the biggest deal possible for him in the rest of his career. So and I don't blame him. He's doing the right thing. His agent is doing the right thing. So, but for the Red Sox, since I'm talking about from the Red Sox perspective, I think it's gonna be tough for them, like keeping both of them. And I don't know, maybe the most realistic thing is they're gonna keep JD and then go. Then they are gonna make a offer to Bogarts who he's gonna reject, and then you're gonna have to replace Bogarts with anything you can find, like cheaper, way cheaper, of course. But that make the case for the Red Sox to like think, should I trade Bogarts in the trade deadline right now? I think that's crazy. It's just me like putting out things. But again, I think like the Red Sox Chulsol, they have pretty good pieces that they can sell during the next couple of days before the trade deadline. And I think that they need to get good quality pitching. They need to get like MLB ready pitchers, mostly bullpen arms, because it's cheaper in terms of return to get in a trade. Uh, and yeah, even thinking about like players that you're not thinking about signing. Like for example, Kike Hernandez is he came back from the he comes back from the injury list. That's a pretty good asset you can trade. Also, you can trade. If you won't sign Sander Bogarts, I I don't see any reason why you're gonna keep him because he's gonna walk away anyway after the season. And I know you don't want to look like the bad guy trading him in the middle of the season, but you're gonna have the same chance to sign him like after the 2022 season ends. Like I'm not, I 100% sure that the team that the Red Sox trades Bogart, they're not gonna sign him to an extension like in just 2 months. That's not happening. So let's see what Shane Bloom is gonna do. He's proved that uh, he's not afraid to make like transactions that fans doesn't like. But I think that's the right move for them. They don't have enough talent to compete. They don't have the pieces to trade for the players they are missing to be that, let's say, a competitive team. So that's my that's my opinion. That's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember, you can subscribe, you can uh, give us a like. That is gonna help you to keep growing. I'm pretty happy that we hit the 1,000 subscribers. I'm gonna keep trying to be more like frequent uploading content, especially like with very special guests like I had last week Enrique Rojas, Ines Aris, Juan Carlos Rodriguez from Driveline. Uh, and the week before that, I had Eugenio Suarez and Julio Rodriguez. So it's a pretty good uh, names that I'm mentioning, right? So see you another time and let me know what you think. Bye bye.